Selhurst is an exciting prospect for a property punt, with lots of regeneration happening in and around the South London borough of Croydon. Crystal Palace Football Stadium is slated for a large-scale redevelopment, and with it will come local transport improvements. I'm just round the corner from Selhurst train station. In fact, our house is here. And the train line is there. Not great if you value your peace and quiet. However, if you're a train spotter, awesome. Now, our house is an end of terrace 3-bed, which came with a guide price of £250,000 plus. Let's go look. Inside, well, straight away I can tell this house is pretty dilapidated. You've got your paintwork coming off the banister. You've got some central heating. You want to check it's up to scratch. Textured wallpaper, dating the place, the carpets. They've definitely seen better days. And your reception room, that's a really good size. You do have double glazing, but it's old metal frames. Looks like it could do with an upgrade, and also sounds like it too from the noise I can hear from the traffic from that busy main road. Through to a second reception room, so you've plenty of living space down here. And then your kitchen, which is an okay size. I'd like to see this opened up. Always consult a structural engineer, because I can tell that's a load-bearing wall. Now, this is a new one on me. This looks like an old shower area. So this is where you'd have your shower.
Splish, splash, sploo.
Yes, a shower tray in the back reception room. I do hope at least there was a partition and a curtain at the window, otherwise that's just a bit odd. Apart from taking that kitchen wall down, another way of increasing the space down here is by taking out the chimney breast. Again, it's best to get a structural engineer in to make sure it can work. That will mean losing the chimney breast upstairs as well. I always think if you've got a bedroom that's so small you'd struggle to get a single bed in it, it's got a bit of a cheek calling itself a bedroom. Your second bedroom, however, is a really, really good size. It needs a lot of love and care. Your bathroom, really good size as well. Turquoise suite tells me it's pretty dated. You want something new in there. And then through to, again, a brilliantly sized double bedroom. The wallpaper is peeling off. I mean, look at this. Not only is it peeling off, but it's pretty clear to see that you've got a problem with damp here. That damp is penetrating through, and likewise towards the ceiling. You need to find out the root cause of that. So that guide price of £250,000 plus seemed a wee bit too good to be true for a 3-bed in London, and it kind of is, because 1 bedroom's really small. But for that guide price, I wouldn't expect perfection, and there's certainly a lot you could do to make this more of a perfect family home. So inside, the layout and dimensions could make this a nice place to live, but could the same be said for the garden? Not the most inspiring of gardens, I grant you. You might expect a bit more land with an end of terrace house. It's triangular in shape, so a little bit awkward, but then again, we're in London and it's good to have any kind of garden. But as I look to the sides, now this is where it gets interesting. Just now, on your land, you have a garage, but you could think about asking for planning permission to extend maybe 1 story or even 2 stories to make that 3rd bedroom that's tiny bigger, or create a 4th bedroom. You have to find out, talk to local estate agents, if it's worth spending the money, if you would recoup it in profit. There may well be a ceiling price in this area for similar kinds of houses, but it's definitely just got a lot more interesting. That garage and the plot it's on is a definite bonus, but don't be swayed too easily. A ceiling price is the highest price people will pay for properties in the area, and adding a 2-story extension could push the cost of the house above that mark, more than likely making it difficult to get your money back. Let's find out what a local estate agent thought of this house that came with a guide price of £250,000 plus.
It's very unusual these days, especially in London, to get a property, a house freehold, which is around the £250,000 mark, especially being 3-bedroom.
Yes, even though it needs a total refurbishment, that guide does seem low, especially when you take the garage area into account. Is the agent thinking what I'm thinking?
It definitely has potential to extend on there. Whether you would get a double story or a single story, that depends on how the council feel about it, but you definitely will be able to get a large single story extension on the side of the house.
So what about the valuations? First, if the house was just given a full refurbishment.
As a renovated 3-bedroom property, this could achieve for sales £425,000 and for rentals £1,450 per calendar month.
And if permission was granted for a 2-storey extension, how do the figures look then?
As a 4-bedroom property, this property could achieve £550,000 or upwards of for sales, and for rentals £1,750 per month.
This house is in a convenient, if not very quiet or scenic location. Now, it's not in great nick, but I have seen worse. But what's interesting about this property is the land it comes with to the side and also the front, and whether anything can be done with it. Let's find out who agreed when it went under the hammer.
Right, South Norwood, 3-bed ended terraced house. Who'd like to start off on this? Must be around 300 this. 250? 250. 255. With you, 255. 260, yeah? 265. 270. Come to you, 275. 280.
That low guide price for a London house was attracting lots of interest, and soon the bidding had reached £358,000.
358. 360. Now's your third one. 362. 364. Yep. 366, sir. 364 with you. First time. Second time. Third and last time. Have you all done? All done. 364.
Those successful bidders were Pauline and Chris, and they're not newbies to Homes Under the Hammer, having appeared on the show several times before, most recently when they renovated this 1930s semi-detached house, giving it a great new look. Along with their daughter Molly, they're hoping to do the same to this house, which is their 10th in a line of renovation projects stretching back 5 years. While Molly looked around the house, I caught up with Pauline and Chris to find out about their plans. Pauline, hello.
Hi.
Hi, and Chris, hello. So this is your 10th property. How does this compare to other ones that you've done?
This one's going to be a bit different, isn't it? Because we might extend, build kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we're hoping to have a whole new build next, well, where the garage is. So it's not just a straight refurb this time. We're going to be hopefully building something new. It's a deceptively large plot out there because it's a bit of a triangular plot of land, but hopefully we'll get a 2-3-bedroom house on there. We've got the architect who came and measured up the other day, and we're just waiting for him to come back to see what they suggest what we can build.
He thought it was possible?
Don't know yet.
We think we can get something there. It's a question of what.
Yeah.
I think originally we would have liked to convert, like build, extend, as you say, and turn this to 2 flats, wasn't it? But we found out about the council that they're not too keen on losing their 3-bedroom properties. So that's why we thought maybe we have to do something else.
I did not see that coming. It's not a foregone conclusion, but it seems like the local planning authorities are likely to be against turning houses into flats. Pauline and Chris now think that maybe putting a new build in place of the garage is the best way forward. Always keep your options open. That's what I say. But they won't be waiting for planning consent before they start the work.
Because the planning and the build will take so long to do, what we'll do, we'll quickly renovate this house, probably let it out for a year while we do that work, and then once it's all finished, we'll sell both of them.
Okay. What's the plan here? Is it to keep the layout as it is?
So yeah, the layout will more or less stay the same. The kitchen wall will come out to make a nice kitchen diner, that chimney will probably come out, but other than that, everything will more or less stay the same.
Well, not if Molly had her way. She found the house so creepy she wanted it demolished with a big wrecking ball. Unfortunately for her, I think it's here to stay. Pauline and Chris are hoping renovating the house will take a few months, while putting up the new build should take up to a year. But of course, everything relies on getting planning permission. Have you got any concerns if you don't get that planning permission and you just really can do what you can with this? Is there room for a bit of profit, or would you rent out?
No, they should be renting out. It ties up your capital. We need to sell it to get that back so we can move on to the next one. And it'd be pretty much break even, I think.
Now, what's your budget?
To renovate this house, you're probably looking about 30,000, maybe 35. To build a new house next door, you're probably looking 100, 150.
It's all just right at the beginning, and I'm really excited for you. Everything crossed, and best of luck.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Polly.
Nice to meet
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Thanks.
Now, there's no doubt these guys have made a real success of property developing so far, but they're entering into uncharted territory here. Will they get the planning permission they so need to push those profit margins? You can find out later in the show. It was in the Selhurst area of southeast London in the borough of Croydon where we first saw a 3-bed end of terrace. You couldn't fault its transport credentials as it was practically opposite the train station. Inside, the house was in desperate need of a good refurb, and the 3rd bedroom wasn't much more than a box room, but there was a possible solution to make more of this lot.
It's always more, 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 more.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. Just now, on your land, you have a garage, but you could think about asking for planning permission to extend maybe 1 story or even 2 stories to make that 3rd bedroom that's tiny bigger, or create a 4th bedroom. This was a potential game changer, a big side extension, and this house would be so much better for it. But it turns out my plans weren't nearly outside the box enough for property developers Pauline and Chris, along with their daughter Molly. They were planning on going so much further with this, their 10th development.
Always more, 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 more. Always more.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a whole new build where the garage is. Hopefully we'll get a 2-3 bedroom house on there, so it's not just a straight refurb this time. We're going to be hopefully building something new.
Pauline and Chris bought the house at auction for £364,000, and the plan was to build a new 3-bed house and to renovate the old 3-bed house for a total spend of around £185,000. They hoped this would all be complete within a year. 11 months on, and we're back. So, 2 doors, this looks promising, but all isn't quite what it seems.
It's just an illusion. And all this confusion. It's just an illusion.
Our original plan was to renovate this house and build a second house next door. But speaking to the architect and pre-planning meetings with the council, we've gone for a 2-flat option. So we still extended as much as we were going to before, but instead now we've got a ground floor flat and an upper flat that's gone into the loft.
So 2 flats is a slight change of direction. So what's the layout going to be?
The downstairs flat is going to be a nice 3-bedroom flat. So we've got bedroom where the living room was, got bedroom behind me, and into the extension where the garage used to be, we've got a bedroom and a bathroom there. Upstairs, we've got a lovely 2-bed flat, so it's quite spacious because we've gone into the loft, so we've got a lovely ensuite bedroom in the loft space, and a lovely open plan kitchen living space on the first floor with a lovely bifold, or we will have a lovely bifold door going out as a nice balcony area, so that'll be a super flat up there.
Despite initial concerns that the planning department might favour houses, in fact, demand for 2- and 3-bed flats meant approval was forthcoming. Pauline and Chris started turning those plans into reality just 3 months ago. Well, I say Pauline and Chris.
We've actually had a new team of builders.
Yeah, we've had a really good team in, which is great because I've just been more
Hands
well,
off.
I don't know, hands off, yes. I've done no work on this one.
He's just been a bit more chilled because he's not involved so much. He used to be like stressed Eric when he was working, and then he used to do my head in. because he'd come home and give it large, you know. I've been grafting all day. Yawn. Yeah, so he can't say that now. He's been gymming a lot and out on his bike, you know.
So, relatively speaking, this has been a breeze for them both. They're hoping in a couple of months both flats will be completed and ready for the rental market. Is their top budget of 200 grand still on track with their new approach?
That budget's still about right. I mean, the great advantage of having a builder rather than doing it yourself is he gives you a price and that's it. He has to deliver on that price. And we're probably about 3/4 of the way in, so...
Yeah, it's not going to be long now.
Well, if they do spend 200 grand, then on top of their 364 grand purchase price, they're looking at a grand total of £564,000 for the two flats. So are flats more desirable than houses in Selhurst? What do two local estate agents think? First, the agent who saw it last time.
Their plan was to make two houses, but I'm quite glad they went with two flats. It works really well.
There's some really different features about these flats that make them interesting, unusual, and I think people will like that.
In the past, Pauline and Chris have refurbed homes, then sold them on. They feel like the market might not be quite right to sell their £564,000 investment on at the moment. But are they right?
The two-bedroom property, I think, could achieve £345,000. And the three-bedroom property, I think, could achieve in the region of £385,000.
The first floor, second floor split level flat will achieve in the region of £340,000. The ground floor three-bedroom in the region of £365,000.
It's all right, I think...
Thereabouts. Once you see them in their sort of finished splendour, then they'll be convinced they're worth more.
Well, they might hope for more, but even so, they're currently looking at 141 to 166,000 pre-tax profit. Not bad. So, what about rental?
The two-bedroom flat could rent for £1,400 per calendar month, and the three-bedroom flat could rent for £1,650 per calendar month.
The first floor split level, two-bedroom, two-bathroom flat would achieve in the region of £1,450 per calendar month. The ground floor flat would achieve around £1,600 per calendar month because obviously the third bedroom.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a whole lot more for the bigger flat than the smaller flat, so that sounds about right.
Yeah. That combined rental income of £3,050 a month would equate to a yield of nearly 6.5%, which isn't too bad for a property to hold on to for the short term. Having previously done house renovations, how do they feel about this departure into flats?
Definitely the way forward for us, and we'll be looking for flats again next time. I won't not do a refurb, but...
It'd have to be a really quick, easy
flats
in and out.
what we want to do now.
Yeah.